Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Animal Alliance Asia. If you'd like to help me, help them, all you have to do is watch my stream and bring your friends because I'll be making a donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. You can also donate directly if you'd like to follow their link down in my About page on Twitch. And, normally we would have a Twitch fundraiser running, but I think because it's an Asian charity, it's not part of the Twitch fundraising program. So I'd like to find out if there's a way to get them part of that. Anyway, it is Wednesday, which means it's time for some illustration work. To be honest, I know what I'm working on, but I have no idea what I'm going to work on today for it. So let's see. So this is my sketch kit. I don't need that. I probably don't need this. This is my brainstorming notebook. I just got everything out related to it because I'm like, I don't even know where I left off last week. Yeah, I had this little scrap paper in here because these sketches I did were showing through to my final sketch here, my full-size sketch. I would be really happy if I can get through this sketch during this stream because I know this blue pencil is so hard to see on stream, especially when I'm actually sketching on it and it's farther down. It's already hard enough to see even when it's close up like this. So I'm going to work toward that end. Let's see. I have my thumbnail sketch that I was working from. Oh yeah, I need my document holder so I can have this sitting upways instead of flat so I can look at it. Let me get that out of the closet. That's how much I didn't know what I was gonna be doing today because this was out and I put it away as part of tidying up to stream. So we'll just put this on here. I love this thing. It's got two little magnet holders so that it holds your document. Okay, I'll just set that to my side for now. I don't need the rest of the stuff in here, so let's just set that over there. Got started a little bit late today because I was trying to tidy up my workspace a bit. I complain about it a lot, so today I was doing a little tiny bit of organizing and putting stuff in places where it's easy to find them and also easy to put them away when I'm done. And then time passed and it was time to stream already. Alright, I remember now. I was working on this little fellow. I had one with an open mouth. So I need to bring up my reference images. So let's see. So I can delete this one. I'm going to delete these older bookmarks because if I do that, oh, and delete that one too, then I can open all in tabs. Okay, and then actually, I should have waited, but now I'm going to send it to a new window so that I can still see the Twitch chat. I know you could watch the Twitch chat in OBS, but I don't trust it. So let's see, I've got to rearrange my space. Got OBS here, and then my reference images below, and then Twitch is next to that. So my screen is over here, my secondary monitor is over here, and I'm looking over there at my references. I don't think I specifically... Oh, and this is the waterfall. Okay. I did not save the specific page that had the singing one that I was drawing. So, was it this one? It's very similar. So let's just use this one. I don't know if this is the actual image I was looking at, but it's so similar. Let's just go ahead and use this one. Okay, sweet. So now I'm going to get in my sketch kit. Hold on. I just had a thought. When I was putting stuff away, I rearranged some of my pens for my different... I have notebooks depending on which project I'm working on. But I decided to put all the notebooks into the same bag, and that's where they will be stored there, and then if I need to bring them somewhere else, they're already in the bag. So I consolidated all the pens and highlighters and other things that I was using. I put this Art Snacks button on this one, but the Art Snacks button is way more appropriate on my sketchbook, on my drawing tools kit. So I want to move it. This is a 3-hour stream, so I have time. I have time to do something like this. Okay, put this back in my bag. It was actually a little bit tough to pull myself away from tidying because I was working on that little case I have that stores my sketchbook, all of my little folders and notebooks that I use to make these projects happen. There are a few things in there that I don't need to be in there anymore. So I really wanted to keep working on it, but there was no time. It was time to start streaming, so I'm just going to... I wonder if I can turn this. Sanji's head is always sideways. This is extremely indulgent. Let's see if I can get him so he's straight up and down. Because this... the words are this orientation. So I want his head to... I want Sanji's head to be the same. Maybe I should just take these off and put them somewhere else, but I think I can do this. Come on, Sanji pin. Pierce through the fabric. Yeah. There. That's been bothering me forever. Exie, hello! You get to watch me mess around. Thank you for joining me. How are you? Did you have a great weekend? I hope you did. This one's nice. I can move the pin back in the middle. So I can pin it through the side, but I can still have the picture face up and down the direction I want. So like this? No. Feels like I'm winding up a watch or something. I'm just spinning this pin back inside of this metal piece. Oh, wonderful! So glad to hear it. Yay! How am I? I'm good too. It was a rainy morning, which by now you know is my favorite. So I have been in a quite good mood thanks to that. And there are thunderstorms forecast for this evening, so I really hope that comes to pass because that's my fave. I'm so excited. I was a little confused about what I was going to be working on today. I just couldn't remember where I left off last week. I knew which project it was, but my mind was like, Summer Gryphon? What's that? So now I have refreshed my memory by looking at the piece as it is. And now that I have repositioned my buttons and added this new one. Well, it's not new. This button is ancient, but I put it on here for the first time. Now I'm ready. Ready to open this at last and get my colored pencil, mechanical colored pencil out. With the non-photo blue in there. Did you do anything fun over the weekend, Exie? I didn't really do anything special. Well, we did have a late Father's Day lunch, and that was delicious and fun. I showed my father-in-law that AI music site Suno, so he made his first song on it. So that was really fun to show him how that works. Okay. Something that was bothering me, but I just don't know how to make it happen, was I would like this one's wings to be open, but it doesn't make sense because it looks like it's landed on here. Maybe this, I have one flower in the background here meant for another griffin, so maybe I could have this one in the background flying, and then that way we have a flying one in the front and a flying one in the back, because everybody else is just sort of sitting around and it doesn't seem that exciting. Oh, same. Well, that's not necessarily bad. Nice easy weekend. Yeah, I think this is a slightly different photo than the one I was looking at before, but it works. In fact, this one is even closer up to the bird, so I can really see the details in the beak. Oh, the new emote! You used it! Yay! Yay! You used the animated one! It took me forever to figure out how to do that, but I was like, all I want to do is what it's doing. All I want to do is make it bigger and smaller. Surely that's not hard. It's actually not hard. What was hard was finding a tutorial that would explain how to do it in an easy way. I finally found one. I tried all these complicated things and it wasn't working. It turns out I could just do it in Photoshop. It's super simple. I actually gave the person who did the tutorial, it was on YouTube, and there's a little like, give them a tip if you like this video. So I gave him a little $2 tip because oh, thank you so much. Now that I know how to do this, it shouldn't have been that hard, but you're the only person who made a video that explained it. So I'm so happy to see you using it. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. I'm so glad. You just totally made my day. I forgot about it. I actually forgot about it. I just on to the next thing. Ah, I'm so excited. That was so exciting. Seeing that pop up in there. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay. It was really surprisingly easy. I just ended up needing to make a new Photoshop file because it like takes the layer information. So I was like, let's just make a new one. All I need is the one layer. I don't need it to try to reference any other of these layers and stuff. And so I have the separate files now. And now I know what to look for when I want to figure out how to animate anything else in the future, because I don't imagine myself making like an animated film or something. Just animating those emotes, I think, is all I would ever want to do. So I think the Photoshop animation is all I need to know how to use. Let's see, I need my eraser, my little one. I like how this wing looks, so I'm going to erase these guidelines and the previous sunflower lines, which are now getting covered up. And then we'll just get the rest of the body in here. I have no idea what the time will actually be like today, but I really hope that we can finish this sketch and start inking. It's so hard with this light blue. I love the light blue for sketching, but for live streaming, it's terrible. And I haven't even been making like YouTube shorts because you can't see what I'm working on. So like forget it. Don't want to spend time making a short that nobody's gonna watch because it doesn't look like anything. I want to get to inking. Inking is visible. Okay, need to move the back legs into the front to make this a griffin. And this is such a great photo because you can see that the part of the leg sticking out from the belly feathers are orange and white, but the leg sticking out is blue. Can't really see the foot very well, so I'm just going to do my best to use my imagination fueled by previous experience, especially all that Inktober work I did last year and the year before. Very helpful for learning how to draw bird feet in general, a generic bird foot. Alright, and they have the like sort of toe or like a thumb going back. Not all birds have 3 in the front and 1 in the back. Some of them it can rotate around. Some of them both the outside and the inside one can rotate around so that it's 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Some of them only have 4 in the front, like a duck, I think. These are 3 in the front, 1 in the back. Okay, and then, so it's interesting, I think this is having to do with the singing. There's a lot of feathers sticking up around the throat and the head. They're all smooth everywhere else, so I think it's due to the movement of the muscles to make the singing happen is also lifting up the feathers. Alright, and then the belly is quite smooth, the back is smooth. And now we've got to add the water vole onto the end. So I've got this nice picture, American water vole. Super simple. It's just it's called a water vole, but it's basically a water rat. It looks so similar. Maybe the ears are a little smaller, but also maybe it's just fluffier so you can't see the ears as much. And I'm sure there are other differences, but... Alright, so add these cute feet in. And it's got 5 toes. 2, 3, 4, and then it looks like the one on the inside is almost like a thumb, a lot smaller and sticking inward. And it has little claws, just like the bird part, the bird feet part. I keep sketching too much and then I lose the nice sharp claw. Alright, that's probably good. Fluffy, fluffy leg. Fluffy, fuzzy leg. And then the tail just hanging down, I think. Oh, and then it will be covered up by these ray flowers. That's right, I looked it up. The rays of the sunflower. something I think I want to do is make this rump look a little rounder, and then erase away these lines that we don't need anymore. Trying to see if there's anything else I need to add here. I guess showing the area where the beak meets the feathers. Like that. That's good. You can just barely see the two different wings. They're really close to just completely overlapping one another, but just do something like that to show that there's two wings. At least if someone wants to look closely. Although we've got an interesting combination of lines happening right here where the back line of the griffin meets perfectly with this line of this ray from the sunflower that's way in the foreground. So let's change the back line a little bit so that it's not meeting like perfectly at that tip. Wolf, hello! You're using the new emote too! Yay! So happy to see it in there. Oh, and thank you! Oh, Wolf, it's time for your 1-year reward! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you! I'll message you on Discord later. See if you would like to have a chibi caricature drawing. Of course, no obligation, but that's what I decided, that for all my people with first next to their name, every year, I'll offer the chibi in gratitude. How are you doing? Did you have a great weekend? You're done with your beach vacation, I guess? Is it nice to be home, or are you missing it? Oh, you have to think of something. Okay. Yeah, and it's not like, I won't be like, you have to tell me within 1 week or else you don't get it or something like that, so no rush. Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that, actually. I realized I missed the opportunity. I was wondering what, if you had brought Ari with you. Yeah, I get that. That was the only thing when I went to Japan last year. We were gone for 3 weeks. Well, maybe when I was a little kid we did some longer vacation, you know, where we just stayed with our grandparents or something. But since becoming an adult, 3 weeks vacation is like the longest I'd ever had, and that was the only thing I missed about America. With my puppies, my kitty, and my pigeons. Do you have any sort of like riverside beaches or something you can go to locally and still enjoy the waterside experience? Or like a lake or something? I've been doing my long runs for my half marathon training along the green belt, and it's been so nice because it's so, the water just makes the general area cooler, and then there's so much greenery and wildlife, and it's so much more quiet than running on the sidewalks by the streets, which is where I normally run. So It's so nice just to be by the river. Running by the river. Let's see. I'm trying to, it's hard to tell exactly what the feathers are doing here, so I'll just make some generic shapes and that'll be good enough. Okay, so I think we're done with this griffin, which means only one more to fill the scene with as many griffins as I wanted. Clean this up a little bit though. It's a little confusing right here. Which is the rays from the background sunflower, which is the rays from foreground sunflower. Yeah. That would be fun. You could float with Ari. I've seen people do that. Of course, I think it's important to, if anyone does that, I think it's important to get a dog safety vest because, or, you know, like a flotation vest. Because you never know. The water can be so surprising. Especially after I took my oceanography class and it's like the surface. And it was oceanography, but this basically applies to any water. The surface can be really calm looking, and then underneath is just this crazy swirling and such power underneath. That's why in Idaho we have so many irrigation canals and they're just open and people can go in them if they want, but it's like, don't go in them. It's so dangerous because you can get pulled under. And then by the time, because the pull is so strong, it looks calm on the top, but the pull is so strong, by the time someone can actually get you out, yeah. Especially for kids, it's extremely dangerous, so. Yep, I think everybody should use the doggy flotation vest. Keep the puppies safe. I'm gonna look for a different flying reference. So I'd like to have this one either flying in here or something. We already have this griffin flying in and we are sort of behind it and above it. So this one being way far away. Plus, it's good to just have different poses. I feel like filling it right here would be nice, but that would be the same flying angle as this one. I don't know if I want to repeat that or not. What does my sketch have? The sketch just has this tiny one sitting on the flower. Actually, like this one now is. Oh, Toastmasters! Yeah. So, for one, Toastmasters is an international organization that helps people with their public speaking skills. It also focuses on other skills like leadership and that kind of thing. Organization. Just stuff you'd need to be able to give a good speech for whatever reason. And then I specifically joined the Vegan Toastmasters group. And so that speech was my icebreaker speech, which is the first speech that anybody gives when they join any Toastmasters group. There's all kinds of groups. There's like business groups, school groups. There could be like sports groups. There's like hundreds of them all over the world. And so my speech, my icebreaker speech, I decided to introduce myself, of course. Icebreaker makes sense. Introduce myself, but also introduce why I joined Vegan Toastmasters and what I hope to achieve by joining. So that's what that was about. And my plan is to give a speech a month so that I can keep practicing. One of the things that made me decide to join was if I practice my speaking, then my live streams could be better because I will not be saying so much. I mean, I still do it, or not repeating myself over and over. You know, that kind of thing is what Toastmasters helps you work on. So that's what that was about. I already know what cosplay I'm gonna do. You don't have to cosplay. I don't know, I might be the only person in the world who has cosplayed for a Toastmaster speech. But I decided that I want my speeches to be fun. So I'm gonna cosplay for all my speeches. So I'm gonna get out my red blood cell cosplay from Cells at Work. That'll be my next one, I think. I found a nice looking flight image here. It's facing away from everyone else, but it would fill this space really nicely, I think. So I'm just going to use this one. Oh, wait. Oh, this is the one I used for this, but I turned it using my imagination, and I turned it. Oh, interesting. I'll find a different one. I don't want it to be the exact same. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be flying. Most images people take are sitting. So adding a little flying makes the image more dynamic. So I'm just scrolling through this nice gallery. I'm getting far enough down that it takes a minute to load. Not very many flying ones. Oh, there's some in a bird bath. That's cute. Big stone bird bath. Here's one taking off. It's kind of blurry though. It's hard to tell what the wings are doing. Darn. I thought I might have found one that I wanted to include. There's someone caught a photo of one eating a seed. Still looking. This gallery is humongous. But most of the images are of the birds just standing on sticks and stuff. Well, I think we're near. Oh, nope, it loaded some more. I thought we were almost to the end. I know, Aoife. It's taking forever, huh? Aoife just let out a huge sigh. Chappie just did her own too. Oh dang, this one would be awesome, but it's so blurry. All right. Let's just go back to those few that I already had at the top. This might be an interesting one to do. And it's sort of looking straight at the audience instead of to one side or the other or down. So let's just try this one. Found a pose at last. We'll say that this griffin is flying away. It was just eating from this sunflower and is now flying away over this way. So the head, little body, wing comes down. This is an excellent, interesting angle that this person captured. And then this wing is sort of swinging backwards and to the side. See a little bit more of it here. And you can see both eyes. Her beak is kind of like this. Pointy. Top of the head looks pointy, this angle. And the tail, which shall be the griffin, or the griffin part, the mammal part of this griffin. This is where we'll add in the fuzzy looking bits from the water vole. The tail flying out like this. Whee! And we need to move the back legs of the bird to the front in order to make it a griffin. They're so small though at this distance. So tiny. We can't see the back legs, but hopefully this water vole tail flying up will help show that it's not just a bird. Oh, I I do need this because I'm going to erase a little bit of this sunflower where the wings are covering it now. And define those lines more clearly so that they're easier for me to remember when I go to ink this. Well, when I go to transfer it to the watercolor paper. I'm going to move this leg down a little bit. I like the relaxed look of this leg on the left, so I'm going to try to get a little bit more of that from this leg on the right. And now I'm looking at it, I'm going to extend the length of these flight feathers. I really think they need to be longer to support the weight of a griffin. Well, I just realized my little camera's not really showing very well, and for some reason it's so dark. Where's my exposure button? I think it's this. Oh, that's so much better. Sorry about that. I did not notice. I don't know why it was so dark. I think that matches better with the main camera's exposure level. Okay. Now I've got all the griffins in. I want to finish this scene with more greenery and sunflowers. So I am going to go back to my sunflower image. But I don't think I saved it on my PC. I think it's only on my phone. Oh, I remember what I did. I just downloaded it. Because I got it from the Pexels stock photo site. Which one was it? This one? Yeah. Okay. Got that open. Yeah, I need way more sunflowers. The image that I chose as my reference for the environment is just packed with them. And right now, we only have the bare minimum, just the ones that the griffins are standing on. I definitely want more. First, I'm going to reinforce the lines of the existing sunflowers. So they're getting a little bit lost. Okay. Over here. Sunflowers on sunflowers over here. I think that's good for now. We've got a lot of open space where we could add more, especially over here. So the scene really goes off into the distance on this upper left corner. But there's room for more here, or at least some leaves and stems, which actually I think might be more appropriate in these smaller, tighter spaces. Just because of the way these sunflowers are so big and they're getting smaller and smaller, it doesn't make sense to like put a small one here, because this one is so big I don't think there'd be room. So let's add a stem and some leaves to that one. So I'm zooming in on an example flower I can use. Oh, it's a little blurry. I'm gonna find a different one. Oh, here's a good one. Do this one. Oh, it has little holes in the leaves, which I think makes it look so nice. The scene looks so realistic when you can remember to add stuff like that, or be inspired by a reference in this case to add little details like, oh, some bugs were eating the leaves. This nice straight stem. Oh, actually, it's a little sideways. As I said, straight stem, and then I don't draw it straight. Let's try again. Oh, Sarah, hello! So great to see you! I am so honored by all of the people in chat today. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me today. You have the day off? Or are you done with work for today? Okay, now this stem is nice and straight. There we go. Oh, yeah. Good. I'm glad. I hope it's been relaxing for you. Yeah. Oh, but you always have Wednesday off now. Oh, okay. Nice. So that's why I've been able to see you for like the past, well, you know, see you in the chat for the past 3 weeks. Yay. Thank you for deciding to spend your time with me. I'm very happy. Let's put a leaf in here. This little section, it's coming up from the stem below. It's got, well, the way I've drawn it, the amount of space, I don't think if I draw it exactly as it is in the reference, we wouldn't see the little hole that a bug has eaten in it. So I'm going to move the hole down because I love that idea. I think it makes it look really, really nice and natural. Because people don't just eat the seeds, some people eat the leaves. Okay, so this leaf is coming from down here. Let's draw another one growing out from slightly higher. You won't see very much of it, but it'll fill this space a little bit. Yummy! Okay, now you can just send one through Twitch right now and then pop it in my mouth. Peanut butter cookies! Yummy! Love peanut butter so much. It's so good. It's so tasty. Makes me think maybe I'll get a snack on my... Oh, my break is about to start. It's about to be break time. Maybe I'll get a little peanut butter snack. Just make a little peanut butter bread. I have my yummy cinnamon raisin Ezekiel bread, and I just like put some peanut butter on there. So good. Okay, so this leaf is here, but I'm not really seeing too much area where it would be visible. Maybe right here, but I don't want it to be too jumbled, especially we've got this interesting singing happening and all of these sunflower rays in the same area. So I'm just going to imagine that this leaf dips down out of sight. So we've got that leaf. Let's continue this stem. I realize it should be visible right here, way farther down the page. Good. And the leaves do not grow just by the flower part, so let's add some more. So maybe like, oh, here's another spot where we would see this. Boop, and boop. Although, it's basically break time, so I think I'll stop there and we'll come back in 5 minutes to continue adding to the scene here. So I will just turn on my be right back stuff, mute my mic, and be back in 5. everyone, I'm back! Wolf, you noticed! Yay! I'm so glad that you noticed my music! I don't need to turn the microphone up and down, and no one has to get confused if they're only lurking and listening. That's one of the benefits. I created the songs. I got the subscription on Suno so that I could generate a few songs to use as my background music. So now I have some nice little background music. I just made a new one yesterday and added it. I don't know if it played because I can't hear it. Hi, Sarah! Are your cookies done? I did what I said. I made myself a little cinnamon raisin peanut butter bread for my snack. That's why it took me a few minutes extra to get back, because it just took longer than I expected to eat. I was like, oh, one slice of bread with peanut butter won't take that long to eat, but it actually does take a little while. Although now that I've said that, I really want some water to wash it down. Do I have any left in my bottle? A little bit. I'll have to get some more water during my next break. Okay, where did we leave off? Drawing leaves, yes. And we don't need to draw too many, because I'll do like my other pieces in this series and just use the watercolor itself, the texture of the watercolor, using a sponge or gradients of color to give the impression of a background full of green leaves and yellow flowers. But I think at least for these sunflowers that are up close, that we've drawn the whole sunflower head, it's really good to root them in a almost literal sense, root them to the ground by drawing leaves and stems. Yeah, that's exactly the peanut butter is so sticky it takes effort to eat. Yep. That was so good though. Thank you for the idea. Peanut butter! It's so good with the cinnamon raisin bread. Yum, 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 yum. Clean up some of these lines here. This piece has been really tough for so many reasons, and I've been finding it difficult to stay focused even during this final full-size sketch stage. So I'm super glad that I'm getting closer to done. All that's left is just filling the space with some nice greenery, little details. Alright, I don't like where that's landing, so let's try again. Draw it a little bit farther to the left. There we go. That's a bit better. Yay, there's another one. Let's add a leaf growing off of this fella. Let's find a leaf that's pointing more toward the viewer, if we can. Ah, here's one. Because I feel like that kind of leaf would fill this space really nicely. In fact, this might be irrelevant, because if I draw the leaf right here, it covers it up. Oh, it doesn't even matter. But I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't drawn the stem first for the leaf to attach to. And when it's really facing the viewer, it's almost looks like a different shape of leaf, but that's just perspective. Now we we can erase the stem. Drew it twice and then I erased it anyway. That's just how it goes. And let's draw another one. So that's what I'm seeing here. One coming towards the viewer like this, and one behind the stem going away from the viewer. It seems the leaves grow opposite each other. So one here, one here, one here, one here. So that means we need a matching leaf on this side. Okay, and where does it end? I think it will end here out of sight, so we'll just leave that. Good. Let's see. This one we can't see. This one we can't really see. And this one we can't see either. We have this sunflower. Sort of all alone in the back there. Since this griffin is no longer on it and is actually like flying away from it or something near it. Let's just draw some more sunflowers in this space. Draw a smaller one. We'll say this one is grown up later, so it's smaller because it got started later. And it's getting really windy outside here. I can hear my backyard wind chime all the way over here. I usually can't. But it's getting blown about, so it's making a lot of noise. We are supposed to, well, we are forecast to get some thunderstorm this evening, which I hope so because I love them. So maybe that's what this wind is, bringing in the storm. I got distracted because someone just messaged me and it popped up on my wrist and they're asking me for help with something, and so I was just like, what the? So I lost my train of thought. My friend, she'll have to wait a little bit until I'm done with my live stream. And I'll respond to him. Let's see. Hold on for a second. I need to blow my nose. Oh, that's so much better. It was just slowly building up, and I was like, I can't deal with this. Oh, nice and clear now. Okay, now we have this little one. I keep drawing sunflowers that are not overlapping with one another, so let's add another one really close to this one. we're getting there. So we've got a couple of young sunflowers. That's why they're smaller. Let's add another bigger, like this size one up here. Being cut off at the top. It's actually kind of hard to get the sunflower petal shape quite right. Right, these aren't petals. They're rays. They are flat flowers. Anyway, it grows, it tapers both at the bottom and the top. So it's widest in the middle. It's kind of hard to draw. My hand just wants to make it round at the top, but it needs to become pointy. I think that's pretty good. There's so much blank space, but I'm worried about drawing too much and losing the griffins. Docio. Let's draw another one kind of closer. It'll be farther away than this one, but closer than these. So let's see, what's this? Okay, this is a ray. Let's define these better. Oh, my fickle. I just got my wee fickle. Yay! So let's see, it's like right about here. This is where the seeds are, the center part. I'm just gonna lightly draw the full circle to try to help me visualize where the petals, where not the petals, where the rays need to go. I like to call things their proper name, if I can remember. Okay. This might be too big. This is meant to be farther away than this one. Okay, I gotta draw it again. It's so hard. I'm looking at reference images, but the positioning and the interaction of all these different elements are just unique to this drawing, so I'm having to redraw and redraw as I go. Because I can't tell for sure until I actually put it on paper if it's gonna work. Okay, let's try again. So the middle part I made too big. That's what the issue is. This would be smaller. How about I'll move it to put it right here. Yeah. What if we put it right here? It needs to be even smaller. It needs to be smaller than this. Alright, that seems better. Yay! And I remember from before, the rays should be about the same length as the middle disc from the edge to the middle. So the, what is that called? The radius? From the middle point to the edge? I don't remember what that's called. I think that's a radius. Something. There's a name for that. Anyway, that's how long these rays should be. Oh, thank you, Wolf. It's been so long since my trigonometry classes. Oh, diameter is all the way.
I don't understand, but I found something related. Do you want to know how long does trigonometry take to learn?
No, thank you. My Google speaker thought I was talking to it. Well.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
That's okay. It apologized for not understanding. So diameter is all the way across. That makes sense. I remember that. Circumference is the circle around. That's easy because circumference and circle have the same root word. I wonder why it's called radius. Oh, because it radiates out. Haha. Okay. I should be able to remember that now. That's why it's called radius. Figured it out. The line that radiates out from the center point of the circle is the radius. Is that also called radius? Oh no. Isn't there another one called ulna? Isn't there two? I think there's two, and one is called the ulna or something. Wolf, you have to tell me. They're both in the forearm. Yay! With our powers combined, we have a full forearm bone set. I loved learning about the names of the bones. I don't remember what class it was. We learned about the names of the bones in some class. I feel like it was a middle school. Probably health class. So many people hated health class. I enjoyed it. I like learning about stuff that's personally relevant. Oh no! What happened? Now you know both of the names, right? Because you broke them. You'll never fail that question on a test. What happened that you broke them in 6th grade? Bet you were the envy of the class, though. I have to admit, I was one of those kids that saw other people's misfortunes as, look at all the attention they're getting, and I wished that I would break my bones. Or I wished I had glasses, or whatever, and now I'm like, glasses actually kind of suck. I mean, they look cool, but they kind of suck, actually, when you need them. And of course, I would never want to break a bone as an adult, but, you know, as a kid, you're like, I want all the attention. Ooh. Wow, yikes. So it just didn't... What, you just sort of landed hard like that? My eraser is almost done. It's just hanging out literally by a little plastic stick. Oh, it doesn't want to focus, but there's still a little bit of it left. I'm going to try to use it. Try to use it up. I just got to remember, don't click this anymore because we're at the end of this eraser. Do I have my refills here? Ah, I do. Yay! So when I run out, I still have a pack of eraser refills right here in my kit. Ooh, no. Well, did it heal all right and everything? Like, I've heard that sometimes it can make it difficult for growth to break your arm or any bone so early in life. Are you all right now? I hope so. I heard this story of, well, actually, I don't remember the details anymore. I heard the story of my dad broke his, what's the big one in the leg? The femur? Is that the big upper leg bone? He broke that bone when he was a kid, and he seems to be fine. He doesn't have any leg problems, so. Okay. That's what I was wondering. I mean, it's probably fine. I'm sure you could get along fine if that was the case, but it would still be tough. Ooh. You broke your other elbow too? Oh, your poor arms. Nothing crazy. Well, I understand how that is. It's like even if it's not crazy, it's still kind of annoying and a distraction when you have a mild pain like that. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're overall okay though. You're made of glass. Oh goodness. Fingers. You broke your fingers too? Did you break them at the same time at the football accident, or is this like it's completely different? And you don't have to share all of this if you don't want to. We're getting a little too personal. You don't have to share any details you don't want to. Don't feel pressured or anything. I'm grateful to not have broken any bones, especially since I realized from my childhood jealousy of people. I just always wanted to have a cast and have all my classmates sign it. You know, that thing. That's all I wanted. Just to have everybody sign a thing that was special for me. All from football. Wow. Biking and running too. Dang. Do you still do any of those activities? Just in general, like, or do you avoid them just in case? Or you're just not interested in them anymore? Okay, I'm feeling much happier now that I've got this big sunflower in here. I'll zoom in on one of these in my reference. Get a little bit more idea of what it looks like. Okay, it is a sort of bumpy texture. That middle disc in the sunflower has got this sort of bumpy texture. Aw. Yeah. Well, we both share the lower back struggles, so I totally understand that. But maybe biking is still a fairly risk-free, especially if it's just sort of casual. That's the kind of biking I like. I like my cruiser bike. I have a Minnie Mouse limited edition cruiser bike. And that's the kind of biking I like. I'm not, even though I love running so much, training for the half marathon again and everything, I'm not interested in going further. There's so many people, and I'm not looking down on anybody who does this. It's totally fine. I think it's actually really awesome. But so many people go from either running or biking to then doing running and biking, and then eventually it adds the swimming in and becomes the, what's it called? It becomes the triathlon. I think that's what it's called, when it's a biking, running, swimming, all in one event. Like in a row. And some of them are really intense. Like you have to run, then you have to bike, then you have to swim, then you have to run, then you have to swim again, or something like that. It's not always just one of each. Oh, you have a street bike. Ah, but you haven't ridden it. Oh, well, I hope it goes well for you. Good luck! Yay! I hope that everybody will consider their health, because I want everybody I know to be around as long as possible. This is my very selfish wish that I want all the people I know to stick around as long as possible. Let's see. What else can I add? I'm kind of thinking, I guess it's nice to have the overlap here, but these flowers are looking kind of sad now. You can barely see them. But it is good to have that overlap. They're just so small. Let's make them bigger. So I drew these, and now I'm just going to take them away and make them bigger. I do like having the overlap. It really helps with creating a sense of perspective and depth. So we sort of have that going on with the Gryphons here, because this one is very big, and then this one is way over here, much smaller, so that creates a sense of depth going this way. So we can do the same thing and really drive it home with the really big sunflowers. This one is the biggest sunflower. And then they get smaller and smaller as it goes back into that corner. Just noticed something though. I think this petal, oh, I see what's going on. I need to reinforce these lines here. I don't know if it's because I just drew them really light to begin with, which is likely, or if it's my hand moving over the piece as time has gone on, but these lines just seem fainter and fainter, and it's getting really hard to tell what's what here. I'm definitely going to be going over the final lines with my red colored pencil so that I can tell which ones I want to keep. Okay, so let's add another one. Another sunflower here. Let's try to get that overlap happening. Yeah, that's good. That's a nice placement. There's the disc. And now the rays. We'll add these rays. And the last few I've drawn have been really perfect looking, so I'm going to try to make some of these kind of squiggly and wild. Pretty good. So another one in the back. Nice! Yay! Okay, let's just add some leaves and stems for these two right here, and then call it good for the things that are specifically depicted here and won't be simply implied with the watercolor. So first we'll have this nice stem coming down. Goes straight down behind this flying griffin. I'm so glad I could work in another flying one because I didn't want them all to just be sitting around. It's just boring. It's boring if they're just sitting around. So, little action, little griffin flying action. There. Two stems. Oh, this one is slightly tilted. Now adding a bunch of leaves. Boop. And the vein in the middle goes down like this. I remember, it's called the midrib of the leaf. Continues down. So this one is tough because I think technically the way I've spaced them, there would be another one right here. But it'll be competing with the tail of the flying griffin. It's a very similar angle and shape. So let's just pretend that one got ripped off or something. It doesn't have one there for whatever reason. I'm going to add another one closer to the flower. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to avoid putting any leaves here, because I just don't want it to compete. This griffin is so small. So if we have all these other lines around it, it's going to get lost. But we can put a leaf growing up here on this side. So at least there's something. It's not completely barren. Let's add one of those like in those little holes where a bug ate it. I don't want to add it to every single leaf because then it'll lose its charm. But we've got a little hole right here, a couple little holes there. I think that's good. Awesome. I think I'm happy with this sketch. So I'm going to put my blue pencil away and get my red one out. And this should start to become more visible on the stream as I do this. Adding red lines, I might end up adding them everywhere to, because this is like so confusing right here. Because I just drew the front rays and then I drew the back rays as if the front rays didn't exist. So I've got to decide which lines am I keeping and which ones are disappearing. I'm so confused about which lines I want to keep on this flower. Oh, this is why I'm doing the red. I'm going to decide now by drawing these red lines. Although now we're coming to an area where I've got to also decide, okay, which lines are from this sunflower in the background and which are from this sunflower in the foreground. So I'm actually going to move to, let's start with the stuff that's closest to the viewer. Defining that will make it easier to define the stuff that's falling behind it as far as perspective is concerned. Shoop. And we've got these little circles. I'm not sure what they are, but they're visible, especially when you're looking up close at the disc of the sunflower. Since this one is the closest to the viewer, let's go ahead and define some of those. Sorry, you can't really see in the small camera very much, but at least in the big camera, this red line shows up way better. I haven't decided yet if I want to actually create lines for the sort of folds, and I'm not even sure how to describe it. There's a little bit of wrinkling almost on these rays. I don't know if I should define them in lines or just try to remember to do that in watercolor. The less lines I draw now, the faster I can get to the watercolor, so I'm kind of tempted to go that route. Hold on. It's getting quite warm in here. I'm going to go turn on that fan that's under my desk. It's under my PC workstation over there, so it's kind of far away, but it still moves the air, and I think it'll still cool it down for me. Alright, the next closest thing is this griffin here. Bird wings are so complex. It's quite tough to draw them, actually. I'm always forgetting which feathers should go in front of the others, even when I have the sketch here right in front of me. But it's the feathers that are closest to the body should go on top, and everything else folds underneath. I remember from looking it up, well, just looking closely at the reference images last time, or sometime last week. Maybe it wasn't necessarily the last illustration stream, but recently. I'm quite pleased with the progression of the sketch today. Might not get it completely transferred to the watercolor paper this round, but I think we could get started on it. Though I'm having to draw this image, I think I'll have to draw it 3 times, because first I'm defining the lines that I want with this red pencil. Next, we'll be tracing it onto the tracing paper, and then drawing it a 3rd time to transfer it down onto the final piece of paper. And some lines I haven't even defined yet, like that bumpy edge around the sunflower disc. I didn't draw it at all with blue, I just did a generic sort of circle shape. So I'm even creating new lines right now, not just only tracing. All right, at last we are back to the part. Oh, nope, I have to trace these lines here. Whoops, we are not back yet. And finish these last flight feathers. Okay, now we are back to the area that made me realize I should start with the stuff that's closer to the viewer. Right here, this area is quite troublesome. So let's just pick a spot and start drawing. Now that I'm thinking about it more, what happened when I was drawing these sunflower rays, my idea was, well, I'll just draw them in their entirety because then I can see where they would be overlapping and there would be a little bit of shadow there because they're translucent. But the problem is, drawing it like that just makes it super confusing. So I think it's better to, for this final sketch with the red pencil, not to do that. Instead to just remember later when I'm painting that there's going to be a little shadow where each petal is overlapping the others. My Garmin wants me to get moving, but it is still 7 minutes to break time, Garmin, so you're gonna have to wait. As if the Garmin really cares. Don't worry, Garmin. I'm going to take a break and stretch and do all the great things. Especially want to stretch. Since I made that peanut butter snack toast, I didn't stretch my last break, so this break will definitely be big stretch break. Trying to see. I think I got all the rays. So go back to this one now. Yay! Let's draw that bumpy outside. I think the more I work on these, the more confident I'm getting at using visual shorthand for different elements. I can't say why exactly, maybe just because I like science and I like nature so much that I really want it to be accurate to nature when I draw it, but sometimes that takes so much extra time that it's not worth it. And it would be better to draw it more simplified and still get the same idea across. The same scene comes through. And this series especially has been giving me confidence at doing that. Probably it's also just perfectionism rearing its ugly head and saying, no, that's not exactly what a sunflower looks like. No, perfectionism. We don't need that. That's not helpful. So illustration is all about telling a story. And good stories don't have every little detail of every moment laid out. If it did, every story would take a lifetime to tell. So this has been a great learning experience. This series, this seasonal Gryphon series, and of course everything else I do too, but I'm really feeling it here. Okay, there are a few little touches I don't want to forget, like the stem showing through, the rays in this area at the bottom middle. And then let's finish up this Gryphon in the corner. And then maybe that will be time for break time. So get this little fellow done. I'm actually going to change these lines a little bit because I want the wings to be even longer than what I drew them. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I ended up doing 4. Oh, I lost count. Well, it's the same distance, I think, so this is good enough. Good enough. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Well, we'll just say that the other feather is tucked perfectly underneath there. So they look about the same length, so that's fine. If anybody's looking at my work so closely that they're counting how many feathers on each side of this background griffin, I will be honored if they point out that I'm missing a feather. Oh, and what do you know? Just as I thought. Oh, nope, I forgot this little foot, which is perfect because there's still a few seconds left before break time. What I was going to say is that, yes, now I'm done. Finalizing the lines on this upper right griffin took the perfect amount of time to just switched over to the new hour. So I am going to take my break, stretch, give my eyes a rest, look outside. It's getting nice and cloudy. Yeah. If somebody actually did that, I would be like, thank you so much for looking that closely at my artwork. I am absolutely honored. Like legit, like I'm not joking. Someone would have to look so close. They would have to care to look that closely. Oh. Okay, it's break time, and I hope everybody else will take the opportunity to stand up, give your body a break, get some water, whatever you need. Put on my be right back screen, mute my mic, and be back in 5. Hello everyone, welcome back. Time for the final hour of this stream. I hope you all had a great break. I am super excited because it's way cloudy outside now. It was almost completely blue skies at the beginning of this stream. The beginning of this stream, and now it's all cloudy. My storms are coming in. Scottish music. Yeah, I've made a couple Celtic songs. The newer one I made was like a shamisen piece. And then one of them, I don't know, it kind of came out of left field because I'm just using this AI music generator thing. You put in a prompt and it does its best. And it wasn't what I was going for at all, but I was like, oh, it kind of sounds like a Mr. Rogers kind of thing. So I kept that one too. Hope you're enjoying the music. I try to get a little variety in there. Hopefully it's interesting. I hope to build up a nice library so it won't be the same songs every single stream. A little bit at a time. This is a new idea for me. I'm getting really excited about this piece now that the sketch is basically done. It's been so hard. This piece has been so hard. I think it's because it's the final one, so there's all these expectations in my head based on the previous ones. It has a level to achieve. The previous pieces, the first one was just setting the bar, and then the next one and next one. Maybe move the bar a little higher each time. Alright, I should do... This one's actually closer than this one. So I should do this one first. So these lines are... Oh, this part's really confusing. I think this is what... I don't know. I think this is supposed to be like this. Or something. Ah. Oh, and this one curves really crazily. Whee. This one's like a heart-shaped petal. Right, they're not petals. They're rays. They're flat flowers. They grow flat. Oh, it feels so good to have stretched my back. It really made a big difference. I just sat on the floor, grabbed my feet, and sort of wiggled around until it loosened up. Back pain's not 100% gone, but it's hugely reduced. Like a surprising amount, actually. So nice when just some stretching can relieve it. And I don't have to resort to pain medication. That little fluffy water vole leg. All my little birds end up being paired with little rodents. They just fit so well. They live in the same areas. Since I've been choosing the griffins based on their real life counterparts' geographical ranges. So I guess it makes sense that little birds and little mice and things would live in the same areas. Bit by bit, the final lines are being made. Alright, I give this one these really wild leaves. Or rays. Really wild rays. They're just flopping all over the place like flames. Jellyfish, seagull, griffin. Oh, yeah. It was something jellyfish with something griffin. Was that it? Jellyfish with seagull? Shall I take a break? Let me sketch it. Jellyfish with seagull. Jellyfish with seagull. What side does the jellyfish go on? I don't know how to make that happen. Wait. I got a great idea. Okay, this is not going to be a griffin, but we're going to draw. I'm going to draw a moon jelly because those are the ones that I can recognize these little circles in them without having to look anything up. Well, sort of. I don't know exactly how their tentacles go. I don't know if these are tentacles. They're like tendrils. Let's get some little small ones in there too. Okay, we've got this nice jellyfish. And make it a griffin. Yeah, this nice beak coming out of here. And, well, let's have it go around. Nice beak growing out of the top. Add little lines to mask the jellyfish part. Okay, the beak grows out of the top. And this has little wings. Wee. Woo. You can't really see what I'm drawing very well in the small camera. There. And real whoop whoop wings. Whoop whoop wings. Oh, your jellyfish. This is coming out at this angle too. Wee. Ah. We did it. Oh yeah, squid griffin. Yeah, all you have to do is add some wings on the squid. I think octopus has beak too. I wonder if nautilus has a beak, because aren't they also a cephalopod? Or is it, what is it? There's another sea creature. Maybe not nautilus. It's... I'm writing what this is. Lol. They'll put the date on there. 6/26/24. What's the other thing? Oh, cuttlefish. I'm sure cuttlefish are cephalopods, so I wonder if they also have a beak. Hey Google, do cephalopod hey Google, start over. Do cuttlefish have beaks?
According to Wikipedia, all extant cephalopods have a two-part beak, or rostrum, situated in the buccal mass and surrounded by the muscular head appendages.
Ooh. So, octopus, squids, and what was that last one? Cuttlefish. They all have beaks. So they can all be the front half of a griffin. Look at this wonderful collaboration between me and Wolf. Jellyfish, seagull, griffin. It's the best griffin I've ever drawn. Point blank. Ah, that was fun. That was funny. This is supposed to be right on the top. It works. We made it work. It's possible. Now we're just going to start putting snakes with octopuses and calling them griffins. I don't have any of the original griffin parts. No wings. No mammal tail. I think when you combine something that's not bird plus mammal, it's just a chimera. Although chimera, I think, had a specific construction in the original mythology. So I remember it had a snake tail. But in general, what people mean when they say chimera is a mix of multiple animals. Let's see, okay, yes. We're going to do these rays now. Eee. It's really nice to have a break from so much decision making on this piece. To just do something like tracing the lines I've already done in order to shore them up. Oops, I had too much lead out and it broke. I wonder where that piece went. Oh well. Anyway. My brain feels like it's taking a break. Like it's reveling in the break time. Like, oh, it's so nice. Just realized that one of the red lines I made needs to go. There. It looks so much better on the cameras. Getting to the point where I can use red. Ah, it's visible. It's visible on stream. Hooray! I keep making this lead too long. Stop doing that, me. It's too long of a lead. It's gonna break. It's gonna break again. I already did it once. I'm looking it over right now to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because I think I'm done with the right-hand side of the piece. Although I think right here I have on purpose a shorter feather. Okay. Maybe around here a little more. Raised, because they seem to have two layers, front and back. I mean, maybe not always, but it seems like for most of them. I'm looking over at my reference over here. There's a row in the front, a row in the back, and that's how it looks so full. Oh, Sarah, what is this little heart hands for? Oh, we'll post a cute ranger on there too. Why Twitch didn't take that emote the first time, I don't know. But I meant the full heart hands. Okay. Well, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Yay! I like seeing the love in the chat. I like the positive vibes. Yeah, just right there. It felt a little empty. Over here feels alright, and here. So moving on to this last little area. Aoife is sighing away again. Man, it's really tough to tell what's what here. Okay, so think of this as a ray from this one. Okay. Okay, so there's nothing else I need to draw down here. I think. And maybe right here we'd see through. There. There's a little line missing right there. Got that. Okay, moving on back. So next, let's draw this final griffin, this little small one. So far in the distance. Trying to get my camera so that you can see it in the small camera. That's alright, I guess. Okay. Doing dotted lines, broken, disconnected lines. Hopefully that will give a sense of this being a hairy vole tail instead of smooth. But it's such a small griffin off in the distance that I can't put too much detail. The little talons are so small, it's very hard to draw. I think I got them all right though. Now for this wing. Good enough anyway. Now we just have the flowers. And this one I tried to make a little wild looking so that not every sunflower looks unnaturally perfect. Oh, it's really confusing right here. I don't know what I was doing with these. Well, just... There, that's good enough. Okay, now the stem. And this leaf. Oh, I broke it again. Oh, and I've found both pieces. There's one, and the other one is... Ah, there. Put those in the trash. Whoops. I'm just so into it, I'm pushing really hard with the pencil, I guess. Where was I? Oh, it was here. Got distracted. I'm breaking my pencil lead again. Oh, I can't believe another 30 minutes has passed already. It's supposed to seem so fast. I'm gonna make these rays a bit longer than what I originally drew them because I don't think they're not all looking proportional. This one's in the back even longer too. There. Awesome. Just a little bit left. Stem. This leaf growing off on this side. And the two leaves growing sort of into the background. I do have these little circles I drew in the middle of all of these sunflowers, but I think I'll just leave that to the watercolor to show. I don't need to draw an outline of that, I don't think. Which means we're finally ready to move on to the next step. Hooray! Next step is tracing paper. So, let me put these tools away. I don't think I'll need my erasers again, but if I do, they're right here in my drawing kit. Okay, I gotta get a piece of tracing paper. Oh, I'm starting to get a little bit low. Not enough that I need to buy some before next time or something, but okay. Tracing paper. And first I'm going to take the sketch out of this sketchbook, which means I won't need this little piece of paper anymore. I had this spare sheet of paper so that I couldn't, when you take it away, you can see the black ink sketch underneath. So that's why I put that in there last time. So I needed to sketch these side views. There was something I just couldn't get right for this griffin right here. And by sketching it a few times from several different reference images, I was able to draw it to my satisfaction at last. Okay, so pulling this out. This is why I always get perforated. I always get this particular sketchbook. Perforated pages sketchbook. So you can just take it right out when you're ready. Or say you just did a sketch for fun and you like it that much and you want to take it out and work with it more. Or scan it in. It's way better to scan in by taking the page out of the sketchbook when you have a, well, actually it doesn't really matter. Ring bound sketchbook, when you scan it in, see how the rings sit a little higher than this part, than the cover. And so that creates a shadow along the rings, and then that shadow will be at the top of your image. And then the same thing happens with a, oh, I can't remember the kind of binding, but the more book type binding, it does the same thing and you'll have a shadow. So, I always get the perforated pages. Let me put this stuff off to the side so it's not in my way and get my artist tape out. Use the artist tape to tape the sketch onto the tracing paper. I tried to keep it as even and level as possible, because when it's not, it's just a visual distraction for me. It brings my mind elsewhere than on the sketch, so that's why I do that. Nice piece of artist tape. Artist tape is good. Masking tape would work probably just as well, because they're meant to come off and not damage the surface they're on. Just tape that on. And I don't think I'll need this again, so just put it away. Now we're going to see how far we get with these remaining 20 minutes. I do want a clipboard just to be a less sticky surface than my... Oh, I can never remember what this is called. It's like a plastic mat for this desk, because the desk has like gouges in it and stuff. So I wanted it to be smooth. Because you know, when you're drawing and then there's a gouge in the table, then your drawing has a little boop because your pencil went down into the gouge. Anyway, that's why I have this surface. But it also, as you can see, I'm not moving the paper underneath because it's sticking. So I'm going to put it on here, and then I can grab this handle and move it around. Okay, so we clip this in here. I don't always remember to use this, but sometimes I end up getting it out even when I forgot, because I'm like, man, this drawing is sticking. Oh yeah, I should use my clipboard. Okay. So I'm just trying to get the paper, the tracing paper, to lay as flat as possible on the drawing. Pushing it under this clip there. I think that's good. Now, I remember last time I learned a lesson, and that's not to use graphite for the first tracing. I'm going to use my 3-color pen. I'll do the first trace in black, and then when I'm tracing it back down, like 2 steps later from now, I'm going to use the red. I'll tell you why then. But for now, I remembered the lesson I learned last time. No graphite. It's got to be ink. The reason why is that my red pen, when I used it to do that second trace to trace it back down onto a different piece of paper, clogged up the red pen in here, and I had to work really hard to get that graphite out of there. So I don't want to do that again. I don't want to have to go through that. Alright, here we go. Just tracing, literally tracing these lines. Another fairly relaxing step, because there's not much decision making involved at this point. It's just follow through. So I do have to pay attention. It's really easy to lose focus and then accidentally draw a line that you didn't want. If you're hearing a little tapping sound, it's because Aoife's having a, I don't know, a running dream or a walking dream, and her little footsies are going, and they're tapping. They're tapping on stuff. I'm using my 2 fingers of my non-dominant hand to hold the tracing paper down tight against the sketch. So otherwise, maybe you can see how over here the tracing paper is just barely lifted up from the sketch. If you hold it down, those lines become clear. So that's why I'm using this hand to hold it down so I can see it nice and clear and trace accurately. She's still dreaming. We went on a walk in the rain earlier. So maybe she's dreaming about that. It doesn't rain that often here, so it was a nice treat. I was worried because she's so afraid of thunder. There was no thunder, but sometimes she seems to associate cloudy skies with thunder, even if there's no thunder happening. But she was totally stoked to go out on our morning walk, even with it raining. Absolutely no hesitation, so that made me very happy because I didn't want her to be afraid just because it was raining. I'm gonna get a drink of water here. The fan did help cool it off, but it is still pretty hot. And I'm in the basement, so that shows you how warm it is. Going through and putting red lines down for everything was definitely the right choice. This would have been a lot harder if I hadn't done that, I can tell. The blue doesn't show through as well. Doesn't doesn't show through the tracing paper as well. And then my blue lines in some areas were really jumbled, so it would have been even harder. Oh, I gotta be careful. I just smudged some ink right there. I'm gonna make sure to work away from where my hand likes to rest. Dang back. It was feeling so good after my stretching, but it's already starting to go back to where it was. I see. I had a little ink on my... I was like, where are these little spots coming from? A little ink on my finger. I was depositing unplanned ink. There. I think I got it. Well, 10 minutes to go. Just got the 10-minute buzz on my wrist. I've been saying it since the beginning of the year, but it's so great how live streaming my main work really gets me to focus. Because I was not feeling like working on this today. I really wanted to keep cleaning my studio. But it was streaming time, so I stopped cleaning the studio. Got my project out. I'm wondering what I did here. I see. There's just nothing here. I think this should be the stem of this flower. Okay. So I think right about here there should be a stem coming down. There. Ah, I'm smudging the ink again. Stop smudging the ink. Since I'm smudging so much, I'm trying to draw not subject by subject, but just in a sort of general sweep from right to left. So there's as little chance as possible of my hand accidentally going in some ink that is not yet dry. I see, that doesn't help. No wonder I smudge sometimes and other times it's totally fine. Seems this pen occasionally deposits a really big glob of ink. Just did it right there and right here. So that explains it. For the most part, I don't have to worry about it, but it's done it a few times. Gotta watch out for the globs. I'm getting a lot done, but I'm also getting a little worried that I'm going to be missing some lines. Yet again, I've created a really complex image. So it's so easy to forget a line here and there. But tomorrow I'll be coming back to this with fresh eyes, so hopefully I'll catch any at that time. Oops. The ink didn't want to come out that time. Opposite problem. Opposite of the glob problem. Just a couple minutes to go. Can I finish the whole right side of the image? Super close, I think I can. Yeah, and let's just keep moving. There's just a few minutes left, but... or there's less than a minute. Let's see what we can do. Alright, let's call that good. Yay! I'm so happy! This piece has taken me so long. I've been working on the concept since last summer, so I shall hold this up. I don't know if that's not focusing or if it's just because, oh, it just wasn't focusing. So here's where we got today, about halfway through getting the lines onto the tracing paper. And we got the full-size sketch completely done, including defining all the final lines. Yay! Coming along, and then this series, when I finish this piece, my seasonal Gryphon series will be complete. Okay, let's see. Who's streaming right now? Let's go raid somebody. Getting on my Twitch app. Oh, we haven't checked out David Peterson in a while. Let's see what he's doing. It says coloring the Tick and Vole Patrol. That seems fun. Some fan art. We haven't visited him in a while, so. Let's see. Rearrange my workspace so I can get my keyboard out. Still love this keyboard. So happy. Use my birthday money to get it. Super great birthday present. There, and the little camera is still looking at the illustration. Okay. Let's open a new Twitch tab. David, and it's Peterson with all E's. Yes. Boom. Raid has been created. Hooray! While the countdown goes, let me thank you for joining me today and making it such a fun stream, especially in the chat. I'm so grateful. It was a very fun day for me. I hope you also had fun. Thank you, Will, for your 12 months being a subscriber. I'm going to message you after this. If I don't, then you could message me, but I'll try to remember. And that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow, work more on this piece. The raid's ready, so let's go! Yay! Okay, the raid worked. So if you're still on my channel now or watching the recording later, as I said, that's it for me today, but I'll be back tomorrow with some more illustration work. Hope to see you then, and thank you for watching!